So we're gonna go back to the Italian repertoire, and we're gonna go back to Giuseppe Verdi, which is Il Trovatore, and was
Mm,
also on my Verdi list. Il
your
Trovatore
top
is,
of your list, your top of your Verdi list.
well, it wasn't on the top of my Verdi list. That was Don Carlo.
Right, right. It was right up there.
It was right up there. I mean, we talked about this, and I think my love for bel canto will always be there. So of course, Trovatore is very much a bel canto work with Verdi shape shifting and really creating a lot more drama in the work and also experimenting, I think, in the work while keeping a structure, not as much as Rigoletto and Traviata, but this is a work that I think really focuses on what Verdi did, really perfects what Verdi was doing in his early stages, and that's being this melodic genius, but also creating these very virtuosic coloratura passages that were very challenging for the work and the sopranos and the tenors and whatnot. And of course, we can go through each musical passage, but every single musical passage is memorable and it's perfect. And I keep using that word, so excuse that, but it's just true. I think that when you leave Trovatore, there's not one melody you can't
Yeah,
remember. It's all just so memorable.
it's
Um,
definitely, yeah, it's definitely one of, like we said in our last podcast episode, it's one of the most melodic pieces of
yeah.
opera ever written.
So the recordings that I chose was Maria Callas and Giuseppe Di Stefano. Not necessarily because it's my favorite recording, because it's not complete. There's a lot of cuts, but it's a recording that I think Maria Callas shows her entire the ability of what she could do with the line. And Giuseppe Di Stefano is the perfect Manrico. I think he's incredible, and it also gives us a different perspective of what you could do with Manrico, because so many times you hear these bombastic voices and these, I don't want to say screamy voices, but not necessarily the most legato and most cantabile singers. So I really, really appreciate what he does with this. And the video recording, I think the best production I've seen of this opera is by David McVicker. We talked about that in our last episode. And there's one performance of Il Trovatore that I remember a singer told me that was Golden Age singing, and we were at one of the performances, and that was the last time that it was in HD, and that was with Dmitry Horvostovsky, his last Met production Anna Netrebko, Yihung Lee, and Dorora Zajic. And I think that it encapsulates some of the best modern performers of this work right now. Um, it may not be the best performance of Il Trovatore, but I think it's one of the best recordings that was ever captured on video in
Yeah,
recent history.
of a great production.
Exactly, of a great production.